One stormy autumn evening, I decided to stop by the most popular Burger King in my city. It was late and the store was practically empty. The feeling of emptiness and silence made me feel uneasy, but I brushed it off as just a regular, everyday mood. I ordered my meal and sat at one of the back tables to enjoy a traditional burger. At that moment, a strange customer entered the restaurant, a tall, skinny man with a mysterious look. He was dressed quite oddly, in a black leather jacket and a hat that covered his face up to his chin. The man ordered something with a smirk and went to sit in the corner of the room. I noticed he had a large suitcase with him, which he seemed unwilling to let go of. I tried not to pay attention to him and continued eating my meal, but I began to feel like someone was watching me. Looking through the window, I saw the mysterious man staring right at me. An unpleasant feeling lingered, and I decided to finish my meal as quickly as possible and leave. But before I could reach the exit, something terrible happened. The mysterious man suddenly stood up and started walking towards me, holding his suitcase in his hands. I felt chills down my spine and decided to run. I abandoned my meal, dashed out of the restaurant, and ran down the street, but he was so fast that he almost immediately caught up to me. He reached out his pale hand with a chilling smile on his face, emanating a foul smell like that of rotting flesh. Before I could even scream in terror, he began attacking me. The weapon the mysterious man had turned out to be a peculiar saw-like knife, and it was clear what he intended to do. He wanted to dispose of me like a piece of meat for hamburgers. The force of his blows was monstrous. I tried to defend myself, but I was already too weak from the pain and loss of blood to resist such a ruthless killer. Something in the depths of his eyes told me that he was acting on orders, that this was just the beginning of his horrific path. Ultimately, I had to admit that finding salvation was impossible. My final breath choked in my throat as he completed his brutal mission. My savagely mangled body was left on the cold concrete pathway, but the killer disappeared almost as quickly as I had noticed him. From that day on, the Burger King restaurant became a place where nobody dared to stay, especially after dark. People say this wasn't the first such incident, and stories about it circulate in the eyes of the locals. One thing is for sure, the Burger King killer is still on the loose, haunting new victims and plunging the city into darkness of horror and paranoia.